Welcome back to Pleb Watch with me, Amaranth, and today we're going to be seeing me plebbing it up against the Abbasid Dynasty on Rocky River. So this is one that I played the other day, and I didn't record it while I was playing because I forgot, and then I actually casted this one back already, and then also forgot to hit record. So there's going to be quite a few things I forget today, and first of all, it's going to be my mill. So what do you do when you're playing against Abbasids? That's probably one of the best civs at the moment on the ladder. You give them an advantage, give them a little handicap by not building your mill on the berries. So always the perfect start there for me, as you can imagine. So we're going to be scouting along the river as you'd normally expect, so we're not going to be paying too much attention to what our little scouty boy is going to be doing. We're going to be trying nabbing all of those sheep and not forgetting the one that we've missed here and the one that we've missed over here. So that's two long distance gathers there, all of these guys getting their steps in for the day, so that they're going to be getting all of those health benefits. And we can see over here that his scout is actually on my side now, so I'm trying to cut him off because I normally find there's sheep around the wall there, so I tried to cut him off, which was pretty nice, and then I managed to find a couple of sheep over here, which I was very happy about because I didn't have too many just yet. There we go, a minute and 20 seconds into the game, and I remembered the mill, which is absolutely perfect. You also might have seen this guy running back because I rallied him over to gold, didn't need 4 on gold, so this is the perfect start against the Abbasids. Now, you can see I'm on berries, so we're going to be going for the Hippodrome opening. I just decided that against Abbasid I just fail miserably every single time, so I wanted to just try something a little bit different because I'm not particularly great at the Feudal All-In, so I just thought it would be better just to try something different, end the pain early one way or the other. So we're going to be going back to the Pro Scout game. So this map I think is really actually pretty good for Pro Scouts because you've got all of these tiny little deer packs around the center, so you can nab all of those pretty easily. So that's basically my plan. So we're working towards the age up, which is probably going to be another 20 seconds or so away, and then we're going to be sticking the Hippodrome down somewhere on my first Cistern. And if I remember, we're going to keep it on Conscriptio so that we can get out those units pretty quickly. Now, the reason I'm doing this is I've tried doing the Feudal All-In against the Eco Wing. Obviously, they can get that first extra TC down before you can basically do anything. If they go 3 TC, you get a little bit more breathing room, but you've really got to do damage taking out the TC, getting villagers and stuff like that, which I don't tend to do very well. So actually one of the Abbasid players that beat me suggested that one of the things they find pretty difficult is if someone rushes castle and then has like men-at-arms and stuff like that in their base. So I just thought, why not? What's the harm? Let's give it a go. I like doing Pro Scout stuff. So I haven't actually scouted his age up yet, but we can see from the interface at the top that he is going for Eco Wing. Realistically, I haven't seen anyone go Military Wing against me as the Abbasid for a little while. Since they got that buff to the Eco Wing, that extra 5%, I think it just actually gives them way more value going for that, saving on a TC and potentially dropping down 2 extra ones. We can see here that we've gone for 5 on the age up because I think I'm actually really slow with that because of the long distance gathering and stuff like that. So just trying to get that up a little bit faster and then going on wood so that we can get Merc House down as well, because we're going to have enough oil by the time we age up to get that. So this isn't the fastest of fast castles, but the idea I thought was if I have some of these berries, then I can get some mercenaries and, you know, try and get some units out while I'm doing the Pro Scouts thing. Then if they do make some units, I've got some like longbows to defend or something like that was the idea. Obviously this isn't the polished build, if ever I've used a polished build, but I just thought I'd wing it, just see what happens. You know, winging it against the Eco Wing, what could go wrong? So I've scouted the wing. We can see the Eco Wing there popping up in the fog of war, and I've scouted them on stone, so I know he's going for at least 1 extra TC. I do plan on coming back a little bit later once I've revealed the map, but I want to find all the deer packs because obviously if I'm going Pro Scouts I want to make sure that he doesn't have any deer either. So he sees what I'm doing. Do I get his scout? There we go. The first probably good move that I've managed to make in this game so far. He hits the Feudal Age, and obviously I'm viewing this from my perspective because when I review these ranked games, I do like to see it without their vision because I just think it's better that way. Pro Scouts is in queue, and so this is where I don't switch it over to the Dialecticus because I'm actually trying to get my scouts out from the Hippodrome. So when I did this before, I used to make like 1 or 2 horsemen and then go into the Pro Scouts, but this time I basically just decided they're going for the TC anyway, just literally print out scouts as much as I can, ready for this upgrade to come in about 6 minutes, something like that is when it should go in. I remember to build my second cistern, so that's something pretty good, because I've a couple of games it's been about 10 minutes and then I've realized I haven't even put my second cistern down, so you know, really min-maxing this game. And we can see, there we go, more scouts in queue, and I'm sending them out here. So I haven't actually scouted my home deer pack yet. I do have a couple of extra sheep, which is nice, but basically I just thought I've scouted these and I can start grabbing these ones, and they're relatively close to my base, so I'm literally just queuing up as many scouts as I possibly can so that I can nick as much venison as possible. So that's literally just clicked in, and we should see these guys start hoovering the venison up as we speak. There we go. So I'm basically just going to keep making scouts at this stage and sending them around to get it. So normally what I would do, and I did actually decide to send this scout in a different direction. This is something I actually really like to do, because then if these scouts are caught by a couple of horsemen or something, then I've got one guy collecting in a different direction. And just out of the corner of my vision, I found my home deer pack. When I do this, I do like to go for my home one first, at least with 1 or 2 scouts, because it's so much faster to get back. Then I can switch my villagers over to it pretty easily. I'm also very heavy on wood. I basically had no idea what I was doing with the macro on this one to get to castle, but I wanted to get that merc house, and I thought then if they do make military units, I can make some production and stuff like that. So I wasn't planning on just fully committing to a naked fast castle. Probably should have, but you know, what are you going to do? So these guys are now going around getting all of the deer over here. So there's 2 little deer packs in the middle here, 2 by the river in the center, and then there's one other one over here. We can see this scout is now going to grab this home deer pack as well, so he's going to grab that probably on his own, maybe with one little friend. We're up to 6 scouts, and we do have the merc house. So in this case I thought going for longbows would be a good idea, just because of the range, and I thought if I'm going for cavalry and they make some spears, I can snipe them. But longbows generally are kind of the generally good choice. I did think about going Keshiks. Obviously with this fast castle build I'm obviously going to go for the gulp, but yeah, I just decided in this one to go for longbows. So obviously I'm giving him another little bit of breathing room, not getting my mercenary contact immediately, because why would you need to get those longbows out an extra minute earlier? What damage could you possibly do with this very exposed gold, or the berries on the front of their base, or the stone where they might be mining some extra stone for their for their TCs? What possibly could I do with those longbows? He does decide to try and poke me with his scout, so this actually did make me think that he wasn't making military units, because if he was, why would he basically waste his energy? And I managed to not make my villagers run halfway across the map chasing a scout, so I'm pretty pleased with that one. So yeah, at the moment my macro is kind of shifting a bit, so I was quite heavy on gold, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough for the age up, and I also really reduced the number I had on wood and got them over onto the deer. So I'm really starting to drop off all these carcasses. It would be really nice if you could if I'd move these sheep somewhere else, but they drop them in random spots. Like, why are the deer at the back? I just don't understand the logic. You'd think it would just be the closest point of the TC rather than running all the way to the center. I don't know. So this is where I do decide to actually move the sheep out of the way, and then I can target those deer carcasses with the TC rally point, because otherwise they move on to deer, and that's not really what I want. So far we've grabbed the 2 deer packs over here. We're working on this home one. There's a couple left there, and we've got some longbows that have popped out, and they're going to be working their way over to the enemy base to try and do a little bit of damage. He's obviously seen my castle age, my very slow castle age, coming in, and we're just about to click up, and we're obviously going to be going for Cistern of the First Hill. I'm getting my blacksmith so that I can get my ranged armor, because that's going to help my armored units dive their TC and do all of that good stuff even more effectively. I'm rushing this age up. That's way too many. So as you can see, I literally pull a load off, build the aqueduct so it's ready in advance, and then I get them back onto food, because obviously I've still got quite a bit in queue, but I basically want to get to the castle age as quickly as I possibly can so that I'm able to get those armored units out. I've got 2 barracks and I've got the hippodrome, so I'm going to be going for cataphracts and Varangian guard and just put them in. So now, this is where my scouts were really lucky. So I was nicking their deer pack and I just caught these 10 villagers running out onto these berries. So they're not expecting any military units, and so they've decided to go on these external food sources. Obviously, they tried to go over here, but my longbows moved straight across the middle, and so they actually were put a stop to. So while I'm aging up, I decide to send my longbows over to these berries. I assume that's where they're going and not for the gold, because they do have this gold at the front, so that's what I reckon they would do. I find his scout, so I know if they don't come this way, they're going to have circled round the back, so I don't see them here. Pull them this way, and this is actually the I didn't see this while I was playing because I moved away, so I didn't realize I'd done this, but I moved them over, and then I wanted to see how many villagers I actually managed to get. So not target firing, this is just them moving basically, so I get at least a couple down there, which is pretty decent. We can see the first cataphract is coming over. Mercenaries have been upgraded, so those longbows are going to be a little bit more effective, and now I'm just trying to print as many units as physically possible. So my idea for this one now is that I want to be doing as much damage as I possibly can as quickly as possible. So this might not look quick, but that was at least my thinking, that I really wanted to make sure that I'm running in, diving under the TC, hitting those villagers, getting those eco numbers down, because I don't know how many TCs they're on yet, because obviously I decided scouting is for fools. So actually he's trying to drop another TC there, so I charge that one down, and now I'm basically just want to idle his TC, because he basically, look at the damage I'm taking, it's basically nothing. Getting these villagers 2 hits there, which is very, very nice. And did I remember? Yes, I've put it on auto flask. So that's something I try and do because I'm terrible at remembering to press the flask attack. But yeah, so with that alert is his scout trying to hit my scouts while I'm diving under his TC, gulping away from the spear, and then just chasing these villagers around. So this is the situation I was looking for. The TC completely full, but he's got nowhere to garrison them. And so now I basically want to just idle up his whole economy. I've got a load of Varangian that have popped up. I've also got the cataphracts and the longbows. So I've gone for the +1 ranged, and now I'm going for siege engineering so that I can try and ram them down. So I decided to get my units together, and so my Varangians and stuff could dive, and then if the spears do try and get the cataphracts, then I can do a bit more damage. I didn't really want to lose these early units, because I thought if I lose a couple of these I'm going to be in real trouble. So in the wood line now, he's obviously gone military wing, so he's got the 2 free camels, so they are debuffing my cataphracts. So I'm target firing those with them, and then Varangian guard literally just chasing villagers around, because if I can idle his economy, his extra TCs don't make any difference. With the gulp there as well, I also have triumph, so this is working really, really well. So we're down to 8 villagers down. There's going to be 2 more over here, and Varangian are literally just standing under the TC, absolutely loving life, being tickled by the little fire, and those villagers are just running around trying to get food, but they actually are doing a huge amount of damage over here. I didn't realize this while I was playing, because I was just trying to stream units in. So as they're basically tanking up all of this crossbow fire, then I've got some I got some rams building and a couple more reinforcements in the back. So this is where I'm basically torching down this with the Varangian guard. Not sure exactly why they're doing that, but this is where I just decide ignore the crossbows completely. There's only 2 of them, and just get as many villagers as possible. So 24 villagers down so far, and this is nuts. Look at this. This cataphract is somehow caught between the sheep and the TC where he trampled in, so he's just going to literally run around there like crazy. I literally have no idea how that happened. So that's 1 cataphract down to me to glitches in the matrix. First Kyrosiphon, Fire Ram is down, and I'm going for the TC because then at the moment he doesn't really have any military units, and I'm trying to do that. You can see while I'm concentrating on doing this, I'm floating a huge amount of resources. I haven't actually dropped any additional production, and I also haven't remembered to put any more in queue because I'm just trying to find his villagers and do damage. So at this stage I should have a huge amount more, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. So you can see I've just chucked a load of units in queue. Food very heavy, so I need to make sure I'm going on to gold, and I think my gold vein is literally just about to expire, so this is where I'm in a little bit of trouble. So I do actually send some villagers. There's this one that's pretty safe here, and then I think I send some more villagers over here as well. I did decide to get some relics, so that's actually something I normally forget with the hippodrome. So now I'm basically just massing them up, sending my cataphracts over to make sure that they're not out on the map or doing anything crazy. I want to make sure they're, you know, they're not exposed, so I can do that. And I am going for the landmark. So I basically want to mass up. I want to take this down because I can see that they're massing up their units in the middle, so I basically just want to do as much damage as possible, because if I take out the House of Learning, then they're in a real tricky spot. Obviously I know that they probably have another TC somewhere else, but I've taken this one out, so now I know that they haven't got a villager lead, and I've taken out 27 villagers, so this is looking pretty decent for me. If we take a little look over at the eco as well, I'm doing well. Even with their golden age, I think this is really looking in my favor at this stage. So now I have a huge amount of Varangian Guard. They don't really have enough units. I think I've got 13 so far, and they've only got 10 crossbows, so they're trying their best to mass up, but they just don't have the resources, and this is where I think they come in. But with all these units, I'm basically just going to keep these rams alive and dive onto their crossbows. So that's basically my plan, is to just get the House of Wisdom down and to do as much villager damage as possible. So that cataphract is going over there, gulping and hitting those villagers, and the Varangian then are storming into the base. Reinforcements now streaming across, as we can see, and I've also got the scouts coming over with that torch damage increase, because I want to, if anyone's torching it down, I thought it would just do a little bit of extra damage and makes use of all those extra scouts that I've got. Because I think if we take a little look at the map, I've basically got all of the deer bar, like a couple here, and this is where I did catch their spare TC at the back, and I also grabbed the relic as they GG'd with the House of Wisdom going down. So super messy game, absolute pleb plays, but I beat the Abbassid, so maybe that is the correct way to beat the Eco Wing. I hope you've enjoyed this interesting review of a game, and I look forward to seeing you another time for some more ladder action.